Good evening and welcome to the Sports Locker. Tonight we're talking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Angry Chill and Hybrid MMA, both now merging and are expecting to move into a brand spanking new premises in EuroCity, much awaited from both sides here. We'll be talking about all things to do with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Hybrid MMA with my guest, Lee Tierney, co-founder of Angry Chill, and we've got MMA head coaches Ian Hancock and Joe Williams. Guys, thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you.
Much anticipated, this new premises. But before we move the clock forward 3 years since Angry Chill, let's start at the beginning because, of course, Hybrid MMA has been around for a bit longer than Angry Chill. But you started something close to your heart, Angry Chill, 3 years ago, and it's really taken off, hasn't it?
It has, to be honest, it has taken off quite a bit. We did not expect it to blow up this way. That's one of the reasons why we are changing premises.
For you guys, well, you were also part of Hybrid MMA back in the day.
I was one of the founders of Hybrid MMA as well.
Back in the day. What's it like to now merge again with your old co-founder and kind of bring the family back together?
Yeah, no, we're all excited about it. At the end of the day, we've always trained together and we've always cross-trained as well. And Lee's always very much been part of our friendship group anyway. So in that respect, it's just a good excuse to get the team back together, get the energy, get the vibe back, which we used to have many years ago. And yeah, just a chance to cross-train more actively together as well would be a great opportunity. So,
MMA was started quite some years ago now. What was it like starting it back then? And perhaps how have you seen the evolution of the sports, also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in these few years?
For me personally, it's evolved quite a lot. Yeah, the kids nowadays are way, way better than they were when I started, that's for sure, in both mixed martial arts and in BJJ. So the levels come up, which has given more of a love for the sport again to get in and learn more and progress.
What was it like back then when you started? Because it was quite a strong start. You did several events. And then it kind of seemed like MMA went quiet for a little bit. What was the martial arts landscape like back then in Gibraltar?
yeah, I think the thing was back when we first started, when you know Joe was fighting, I fought in the first event that we ever had in Gibraltar. It was very raw. It was very raw in those days, and it wasn't very well known. The advent of people like Conor McGregor coming through, Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, those guys elevated the sport massively. But back in the early days, we were all condensed into Central Hall, a couple of hundred people, just for the love of the sport in those days. So in that respect, the landscape's changed massively, really and truly. And the interest is just so much more now, which again is fed through into things like Lee's success with the Jiu-Jitsu, is that people understand it more. There's fights, UFC fights or general MMA fights every single weekend. So the kids now understand it when they come back, like Joe was saying, back in the early days, people didn't know this sport. They hadn't seen it. Now there's video games. You understand what a rear naked choke is, that kind of stuff. But again, like Joe's saying, now the kids will come through now. They understand arm bars. They understand striking. They understand all the different facets of this. Whereas before, you try to explain to them, they had no clue. They'd never seen it.
Yeah.
So in that respect, the landscape is changed massively, really and truly.
Did you realise that gap in the market, that globally MMA and martial arts in general were more noticed, more known to people now, and thought, this is my chance to start something new?
Yeah, of course. One of the reasons why we brought Jiu-Jitsu to Gibraltar was because a bunch of us were training in Spain. Originally we started training in Gibraltar. Unfortunately, we had problems with the premises, like everything always in Gib. And I am one of the guys who decided to cross over to Spain and start training Jiu-Jitsu. I just carried on until got to the point where I decided it was about time we started it. When it was just basically a bunch of guys came into Jib, tried to set it up so we didn't have to cross the border and the whole works. And we did not expect it to blow the way it blew up, because within the first 6 months we already had over almost 100 members. And like I say, we decided that we needed a bigger space. I had always spoken with Joe and Ian that when we managed to get a bigger space, we would hopefully join together again and bring up the sport of MMA, which was very popular when we first started. And just join it with the Jiu-Jitsu and try to make it into one of the main sports again.
And your numbers have grown, I mean, brilliantly, because in coming up to 3 years now since you opened just across the street in Japa's building, I imagine at the time you might have thought this space will do us just right, but you quickly realized that you're going to need a bigger space, no?
100%. Like I say, we started, first day we opened, we had over 25, 26 adults. The mat space, we're talking 30 meter squares, 40 meter squares, so it's tiny. So imagine 25 guys there rolling around, just toppling over each other. And then we opened up for the kids, and the kids just basically started growing and growing and growing. And say we've got over 50 or 60 kids, I think, at the moment.
Over the years, I guess, like we said, you all started together, you've all gone your separate ways. What has that kind of this time apart taught you about the business? And kind of now that you've all come back together, have you all come back with fresh ideas? What's it been like this time apart?
For me personally, it's been an experience, you could say. So I've looked at things differently, and I've come back because I want to help my team benefit from my knowledge and what else I can still learn. That's why I'm competing again as well, to set an example and to learn. And just build, I want to be able to build a very good foundation like we used to have before. We were a bit of ahead of our time back when it all started, and it was the world's fastest growing sport, that and BJJ. So everything's caught up now, where we've took a bit of a back step. Now we need to get back into the mix of it and get back out there. Not like we haven't been asked by a lot of people, just we didn't have the premises. The people who used to train can't train no more. And now we need to bring the love and the level back up to get everyone where they want to be, us as coaches as well.
Ian, did it feel, or was there a gut feeling that, you know, you were bound to join up again?
Yeah, we always knew we would. And it was a question of depending on if we'd managed to get some premises first, then we were going to bring Lee in anyway. And if it was the other way around, he was going to do the same for us. So we already knew that because we've been training together for so many years. And when you've been, you know, like anything as a team, when you've shared blood, sweat and tears, there's a bond there that means that you'll always kind of come back together if you can. And Lee's very gracious and to bring us into this new environment, which we're very thankful for. But it was always the plan. It just the question was of timing. You know, it was just waiting for that opportunity, and Lee's managed to carve out this opportunity because it wasn't available through any of the other facilities in Gibraltar. So he's carved this out on his own through his own grind and hard work and of the team. So, yeah.
So the catalyst was definitely this new premises, which I've seen some pictures of online.
Yeah.
It looks like a big space. Compared to Jumper's building, I mean, how much is it going to change what you can offer now?
I mean, we can, at the moment, we are very limited in what we can do. The jiu-jitsu side, we start the fights normally, competitions when we go to, we start standing, so it's a bit of judo, wrestling involved before he actually gets to the ground and the fights ends basically on the ground. Say space-wise, the new premises we're going to have is, I think, double and a bit of what we have now. As well, we've managed to get some really good mats through some sponsors, and we're going to spend quite a bit of money on trying to get the gym into a very professional
Standard.
It's professional standard. You know, we've thought about the wall mats as well, which will benefit for them as well, so they can train the cage craft.
Yeah.
And like I say, just try and bring up the sport again into Jib and make it the best. As we say, when we first started, like Joe said before, we were well way above our, compared to other teams around the areas, we were quite advanced. We had very good success. I mean, these guys used to fight a lot. We used to win a lot as well. So like I say, it's just try and bring that back up. Like I say, we're doing the same with the jiu-jitsu. I mean, we win a lot of competitions. We're categorized as one of the top teams in Spain at the moment as well. And that's just in 3 years. So imagine in 5-10 years with the help of Hybrid as well.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a minute because Joe is one of the most recent fighters that brought back medals. But before then, leaving the old place, it's got a lot of character. Is it going to be sentimental? Are you going to miss it, Joe?
Oh, the old place for us was the schools and stuff. I'm not going to miss it because the mats, it was very unsafe and it was so hard to get people ready for fights. Me and Ian tried our best in every way possible with the help of the guys as well. But the way you need certain tools to train to a certain way, right? You need play football, you need a football. You can't just run around kicking thin air. So we needed the wall padded to do proper cage craft. We never had it. We needed mats that didn't fall apart. We never had it. We had Ian holding one side, me working another side. Now with the proper equipment and the team around us again, I can see the level coming back up, and yeah, that's what I'm aiming for, I guess.
Ian, is there kind of like a date in place when the premises will be open, or is this something still in the works?
To be confirmed. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I mean, walls are up. It's looking great. So you can really get a sense of the space now, which is great. You can really sort of see how it's going to work and how the people are going to train. So that's great. It's nice to see that now. But no, I think as with all of these these projects, you have a timeline, and that timeline's fluid because it just has to be, because things will happen at certain times. So in that respect, yeah, there is a time plan which is imminent, but I don't think Lee particularly wants to commit to a specific date because
no exclusive on Sports Locker.
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Unfortunately, not. But sometime soon. Sometime soon.
Just say we're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Having everything under one roof, I mean, how positively is that going to change the experience for your members?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, having trained martial arts all my life, I just love the energy that you get and the atmosphere when you walk into a gym, let's call it, like a place to train, a dojo. But so to have that back again, the banter, everything that goes with it, I can't wait for that. That's just, it really excites me, that possibility to come in, see people already training, just the sound of people hitting bags and hitting pads, and I love all of that kind of energy. So, and I think it's infectious. I think people like to feel that. They'd like to come there for that, really and truly. Like if a place is really super quiet and stuff, it doesn't feel the same. So to be in a slightly smaller environment where you get that energy, I think it'll be great. I'm really looking forward to that.
What's the feedback been like with the members of the club currently and the parents after finding out that the kids will be moving to a much grander space?
Everybody's a lot happier. Like I say, we can prevent hopefully injuries as well. Like I say, we're having more space. Newer premises, everything's going to be brand new. We're going to eventually have changing rooms as well, which currently now...
So I won't be able to see Joe getting changed when I walk past Angry Chill.
Okay,
so yeah, it's just the excitement of going somewhere new, and like Ian said as well, the excitement of just seeing new people coming in as well, old mates getting together and just trying to make it great again.
You mentioned bringing medals from Copa Kimura in Spain often. With the new facilities, do you see our level now improving even more, even though you could say we're already punching above our weight?
No, 100%, because we're going to try and hopefully as well getting more classes as well. We're thinking about getting morning classes, lunchtime classes, which we currently don't have. As well, like say, the premises we currently have is quite, for Gibraltarian standards, is quite out of the way. Yeah. The EuroCity gym is going to be right bang on the centre. And we've had a lot of people asking about the new gym, and so I think we're going to have quite a few new members as well.
Joe, for yourself, I mean, you've come as a kind of an instructor and someone that's been passionate about MMA, but you're also still actively competing. So for yourself to be able to train now in a facility of this standard, how much do you think it's going to improve your level?
I personally think my level and everyone else is going to improve dramatically because we've got such a good team of people around us, not just us three, the others behind the scenes as well. They've all got their own amazing skills, so we can all really mix it in. And because of the space, you can wrestle safely. You can do big takedowns. You can sprawls and get up without hitting someone behind you. You can really affect things that are going to help you get to the next level. And yeah, I'm competing just to show everyone, like I told you before, that I can do it. You haven't got to be super nervous. Just have fun, try your skills out. It's about experience. It's not, I never put pressure to win. I just go in to have fun, try my best. Whatever happens, happens. And I come out happy no matter what. So that's it.
Yeah, how important is it to transmit that to the children at the club? Because I suppose it can be quite intimidating to get into a combat sport. So how important is it to see someone bring back medals, but also be so very level-headed, so calm and so composed about it?
I've been very lucky through my career, you could say, but I've also been very, I say sportsmanship, very...
Humbled.
Humbled, yeah. I've always been nice to people, but people have been nice to me. I've never really had an opponent that's been a horrible person. And I think it's a very important image to put across to kids. We are martial artists. We are not fighting for money. You're not fighting for your life. You're not fighting to feed your family. You're doing it for the love and fun of the sport. So you've got to have a different mentality. And I think if they have fun, they perform better. Less nerves. You enjoy yourself. And that goes for the adults as well. No matter what category I can't get the word out. Thank you. You're competing at, you've got to go in and just have fun. If I ever get good enough, at the moment I'm not, but if I ever get good enough to enter, what's that one, AEC?
We do, like I said, we do loads of comps. We do the AJP, we do the Copa Andalucía, Copa España, we're doing Copa Kimuras. We are going to do big comps like ADCC, which we want to bring to Gibraltar. Unfortunately, we're having some problems with the mats for the actual comps.
So you want to get to
I
that
say
level, you need to get good.
the level of the sport is growing massively, especially I say the jiu-jitsu comps we're doing at the moment. The comp with the least people we've been to is over 600. So we're going to Copa Kimura now in July. We're taking over 20-something kids, and there's already a cap of about 800 to 900 people.
Wow.
No, if I'm honest, like if I enter any of the big competitions now, which go from purple belt to black belt, I'm guaranteed to lose a lot of them. Guaranteed. It's inevitable. So I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to win. I'm going to experience and learn off someone who's better than me and get caught in something that maybe never happens in training because no one knows it. And you just experience, learning. And that's something I can bring back and help others.
And we've spoken about it before because you've just recently turned to purple belt. But the jump between all the other belts to kind of the purple and the brown and so on is significant. So you could be up against someone that's been a purple belt for years, really. Yeah. So even though you're both purple belts, it could be quite a big difference in level there.
Massive difference, yeah. And like I said, the sport now is way more advanced than when I first got my blue belt 10 years ago, maybe. And I stopped competing, obviously, so that's why I stayed with it. The blue belts nowadays are way better than I was back then. And the purple belts are much better than what I am now at the moment. So I've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
And then if you go into the open categories I was trying to explain before, it's open from this to this. I could be going against a master who's been competing for years, okay? But doesn't mean I'm not going to do it because he's there. I'm not avoiding it. I'm just going to go have fun.
Fun. Claro.
That's it. So hopefully I can pass that message and that experience on to everyone else who's competing.
An important message for sure for the young ones.
Yes.
That's it for part one. Join us again in part two. We'll continue the talk about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. Join us in a couple. Welcome back to the Sports Locker. We're talking hybrid MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Joe, Ian and Lee. Guys, you're talking about the kids and how important it is to transmit a message of having fun in the sport. Now with the new premises, I imagine you're going to have more interest involved. How important is it to balance the training session between perhaps the kids that have been coming for a long time and newer kids that are just picking up the sport to make sure it's not intimidating for them those first few lessons?
As I say, so we're going to have bigger premises. The plan is currently to try and have the more advanced kids on one side and the newer kids go through a fundamental process or like say and just get them in there and say a lot of the kids which we do have coming in, they come in very shy and normally what we try to do is we maybe let them sit down for a little bit, look at the ambience of the kids. I mean, we have a very good group of kids as well. They all get along. I mean, when they go to compete together, they stay in the same hotels, end up in water parks. So that's the community we've actually built. You know, like we have a very good community within the gym. I mean, the adults have just turned into like best of mates, which happened to us when we first started, and it's happening the same to the kids. So imagine when they get to black belts, and hopefully they all get together. So it's just amazing, really.
Ian, you mentioned it in part one, that culture of being involved in martial arts and gym and the brotherhood you form. How important is that really to succeed as a club, to have that kind of bond with your brothers, let's say?
Yeah, I think it's really important. At the end of the day, you know, what we do is a hard sport. Like, it's a hard sport. And you need people to support you, if nothing else. You need people around you who are happy to contribute to your success and to continue to push you. Like anything, like if you're just stagnant, then you're not going to progress onto the levels that we've managed to achieve over the years. You need people to push you. And for sure, you need people around you who aren't going to try and rip your head off, and also just trying to help you progress in the same way as you're trying to help them progress. So yeah, it really is like a bit of a brotherhood. Sounds maybe a bit cheesy, but you do very much become like that, because at the end of the day, you do step on the mats or in a cage on your own. But as always in any of these sports, there's a massive team behind you, and it has to be a team mentality. And for sure, that has always been our mentality. And we've been lucky enough over the years when Joe's been winning fights and others have been winning fights, is that we've had that team of brotherhood behind us for sure to help that continued success.
I imagine with such a physical, well, obviously a very physical sport, some parents might have doubts, maybe perhaps of putting young children into it. What would you say to ease any doubts parents might have of 7, 8-year-old boys, girls joining a sport like MMA or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I think it's for them to decide. I think just don't rule it out as something just because you have a preconceived conception of what this is going to look like. Bring the kids down, let them work, let them play, and let them enjoy it and see how they get on with it. Now, it isn't for everybody in the same way as someone likes football, someone likes rugby. This is not going to be for everybody. But to decide before you even get there that it won't be for them, I think is slightly redundant. Like, bring them down, have a little go, and see how they feel. Like, a lot of them will blossom, and we've seen it. We've seen the kids that have come to us, 14-year-old bullied at school, hardly speak, and then we've seen them grow and develop into young men with such confidence and such ability that at the end of the day, they may never have even stepped in there, but they had the courage just to step in, and they've seen the results from that. So for me, just bring the kids down and let them decide.
Having said that, Joe, how important is it to build a strong kids program now to make sure that there is a future there for us?
Yeah, well, us as coaches, we'll always guidelines like, these are the where you're going to go. This is a certain level you're going to go up to. We know, like, certain strikes, you've got to practice certain things because you get bad habits, and it may not be hard, it may be soft, and we just work around each individual and their own talents, because some people progress way faster than others. We got some 12, 13-year-old kids, and you're like, where have you come from? Wow. And we've got some 15-year-old kids, it's like, okay, we've got to start at a very basic because you're not getting it. So it's like Ian said, it's individual people. They come, they try it, and
You have natural ones.
yeah, talented.
Yeah,
That's
some
it.
natural fighters, you find, yeah.
But it's not as hard as people think. It's not as rough as people think either. So just come and try it out. It's probably safer than what you would imagine.
For children starting that young, is this kind of a sky the limit for them? Because I imagine you would have picked up MMA at a much older age, and perhaps 7 and 8. And maybe I'm getting it wrong, but maybe yourselves as
All
well,
of us, yeah.
way older than 7 and 8. I mean, what kind of bright future can these kids have now that they're mastering their craft at such a young age?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, that, again, like Lee's saying, we're providing an infrastructure now for these kids to kick through
have it
at a
all
young
in-house,
age.
where for us it was different. So you came from a boxing background, me the kickboxing. You started doing karate, then you started doing. So,
They learn the best of everything in one sport now, and then from that they
it's
can
all
branch
under
out.
one roof. That's the advantage they have, which we didn't. We started watching YouTube videos. Remember? that's when we
That's how
started
we
doing
learn.
jiu-jitsu. It was actually watching
we
it.
learn.
The way I learned to do an
videos.
armbar, I got punched in the face, now do it. Literally, that was it.
And now you've got world-class instructors coming over. I know you've had a man from Finland, I think it was. I can't remember his
We've
name.
had Miko, which is he's an Instagram personality as well. He's like over 1 million followers, I think. We've also had Jamie Horseman. We have Chris Thompson, which is we're part of his team as well, under Godo, which we compete the IBJJF and AGP competitions. And I'm saying these guys are world class. And say with the bigger premises as well, hopefully we can bring in top names as well, jiu-jitsu, and maybe as well, hopefully you can get some MMA guys to come over and teach some seminars as well.
You mentioned it in part one, hoping to bring competitions here. Ian, to take the sport to the next level internationally and perhaps be recognised globally as Gibraltar can host events like this, what kind of role does the government, does sponsorship have to play in taking it to the next level for us?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got jiu-jitsu and then you've got MMA. So, we were running MMA events for many years because we had a nice source of local fighters, again, people like Joe. So for us, we need to just get another crop of local fighters, and then we have the facilities here. We own our own cage. We can provide that. So in that respect, that is possible, but we just need to reignite, some local fighters, because at the end of the day, it has to be commercially viable.
We have our own cage.
And as far as the jiu-jitsu guys, that's just about it's about facilities provision. So that's for government to decide that they want to back us in the aspirations that we have, because at the end of the day, we can't be laying out thousands of pounds on mats just to want to get used for a competition. We need a certain level, we need a certain grade of mat, because at the end of the day, it's about safety for sure. So, and it's also about projecting Gibraltar as a host in the correct way. You don't want it to come off like we don't really know what we're doing, the facilities are subpar. So we want this to look the correct way, as it should, to project us in the right manner, for people to say, do you know what, that was a great competition, it was well run, the facilities were great, we'll go back next year. And that's what we need.
We're quickly running out of time, but in a few words, can you each tell me or describe what you hope the next 5 years look like for this new project?
5 next years. Hopefully, I say greatness. Just carry on competing as much as possible in jiu-jitsu and now in MMA. Bring back them events as well, which, like I say, when we used to do them, we're just growing each time. Every time we started from up there in
Central Hall.
Community Centre, Central Hall, no, to the stadium where the event was beautiful, really.
It's hard to say anything different, but yeah, just a continuation really of what has been a foundation of success to build and to produce more experience and more winners out of Gibraltar will be great.
For
Joe,
me to
lastly?
have a bigger team of competitors to travel, to put ourselves on the map as a club, because we represent Gibraltar a lot and we don't really get the recognition for it. So now I want my guys to get the recognition for it. Forget everything else. I want them to go, enjoy, and let's say go UK, go Spain, go Morocco, go to Finland, go Denmark, wherever they want to go, wherever the competitions are, and be proud they're representing where they come from and the gym they're representing.
Guys, thank you very much. Joe, Lee, Ian. That's been the Sports Locker. Watch this space. Exciting new project coming around for MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We'll catch you same time next week.